What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapple. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Ouranos. His name is Tunison. It's game number 3 of this best of 3 for the Champions League group stages. I love a third game. Third games are always the best because it means both players have had their time to kind of warm up and kind of get into the mood of everything here. But we do find ourselves on a fairly difficult Frozen Wastes map here for the Ouranos. Why is this one difficult? Because there's only a small amount of hunt here in the main base with only 5 caribou, equaling only 750 food in the main base. Which basically means Rapple with the great hunt here onto these caribou, he's going to be having a perfectly fine and reasonable early game, whereas Tunison is going to be struggling here. And we have already seen the first deviation here away from the standard here from Rapple. And I love this. I think this is a vitally important thing to do for Norse on this map. Double Ulfsark. Why is this amazing? Because Rapple at some point here is going to have to leave his hunt and come back in onto come back here onto the goats. So claiming all the goats around the edge of the map here with his double Ulfsark and claiming all the goats in the middle, and I think there aren't really any. So he's gonna have to claim all of the goats out everywhere else, means he's just gonna have so much extra food here in his main base, which Tunison is not gonna be able to attack here, which is gonna be a very, very difficult thing to deal with indeed. So what can Tunison do here in this map to find an advantage? One thing that I think that Ouranos players should do on these maps here is basically they should be thinking about double military buildings in terms of double military barracks here against Odin. In fact, they should also be thinking about cutting villages here at the start to get more units out in order to pressure their opponent off of the hunt. Because pressuring off the hunt is so vitally important here in this matchup. That cutting some villages early in order to make that happen seems to be very well worth it. So we'll see if that's what Tunison's going to do here. He does have to move forward onto secondary hunt. He's already over here. He does have a nice polar bear here. Now, some people think that these aggressive animals, they're not the best thing to have in the world. They're very annoying, but I'm in the camp of if I have hunt on top of my hunt, if I've got aggressive hunt on top of my other hunt, that's fantastic because now I've got 200 extra food here in this hunt pile that I'm able to eat. So happy days here. So Tunison's going to be completely fine there. It looks like he's going to have to go for a 4:30 advance time. No real problems with that as he is spreading his villagers out onto the berries here. Probably should be thinking about taking the villager off of wood here and chucking it over onto the berries as well to make sure he gets the resources he needs to advance. He might be fine. He might not. Not exactly sure. We'll see how things are going here as Rapple is going to be getting himself the final dwarf out over onto this location. His temple will be popping up here. Will it be up in time is the big question here. As he gets one final dwarf out. Probably didn't need the dwarf, but he does get one final dwarf out. He will be going up to the next age slightly later here than normal with Freya as he's gone for the double Ulfsark, but no real surprises there. And we see Prometheus coming through here, slightly delayed it looks like for, yeah, he's about 3 seconds delayed there for Tunison. Every 10% is 6 seconds. So at 20%, he should be at 3:42. It's about 6 seconds behind, I guess. As you do see the oracles getting sniped down there by the Ulfsark of Rapple as Tunison still searching around with his own oracles. He's got 2 remaining here, trying to find as many goat as he can. If we take a look here, 9 goat right now for Tunison to Rapple, who's sitting at 14. So a significant advantage there for Rapple. Not crazy. In fact, Rapple didn't really, he's brought both of his Ulfsark back. Rapple didn't really scout the sides of the map as best as he possibly can. I feel like if he found the sides of the map a little bit better there, he would be significantly further ahead in the goats. You can see that maybe Tunison's found most of his own goats as he's missed one. Not the biggest of deals here. As Tunis is now dropping down. Military barracks, counter barracks. Yet again here. Military barracks, counter barracks. I'm not sure I like this because right now, Tunison is out on his second hunt. He's not going to be able to defend this. In fact, with those military buildings, he's throwing down 3 military buildings. Okay, I like this. Never mind, take it all back. This is going to be big. But the problems here, the big problem here, the big problem is that the military buildings are really far away from his hunt. Part of me feels like it would be worth it to take the villagers off of the food here to throw down the double military barracks, throw like the counter barracks down in your main base, have the villagers eating goats for a little bit, and then put them back over onto gold later in order to defend the hunt. As you can see that Rapple, he's already on the way up here with his Valkyrie to defend this one. Tunison does not have his oracles in position to heroize them as he garrisons into the manor here, and he's going to have to sit in this manor for quite some time as that Valkyrie is going to be able to continue to move around here and take these units out. We do see the Valor coming through here for Tunison as his unit's going to come up here and attempt to defend this position over here as well. As the Rapple starting to get some military units through. He's got himself his double longhouse. He's getting himself lone wanderer here. And the Ulfsarks are pumping out very fast as Rapple is now on his secondary hunt. He's going to be able to move very easily forward onto these walrus as well. And Tunison, on the other hand, the question is exactly what is he going to be trying to do? He does cut villages here. He's got himself 5 citizen currently on hunt. Wait, does he? He's got 5 citizen on food, not on hunt. But these villagers over here are continuously getting pushed off, and this is really hurting Tunison's economy. But I feel like one thing Tunison could do a little bit differently here is take the villagers all off of wood. He doesn't need these villagers on wood. He's got 300 wood in the bank. He just puts them all onto berries, all onto herdables here, and he just chops the wood down as he needs it. I mean, he's got enough wood to put all the houses down that he needs. You can have a lot more units out at this point, and it would be very scary as the Citizen are trying to make a break for it at this point as the Murmillo coming back here to defend this. Tunison could push forward and try and grab his opponent's Walrus here as well as one Murmillo gets almost taken out there by the Forest Fire. Where is Tunison going with those Citizen is the big question. All the way back home here, it seems, as the Citizen moving onto this position over here. Could throw down a manor there as well as the Ulfsark are pushing forward here to start taking down these Murmillo on this position. Tunison basically here needs to turn around and take this fight, if I'm at all honest, or he needs to shockwave this. He's taking a lot of damage here from the speedy Ulfsark of Rapple. Rapple's currently at 65 population. Tunison's at 67 population. And Tunison's still not building any more citizen here. So the longer this goes on, Tunison should be thinking about taking fights here. He has to take fights. He has to take good fights, as we do see the shockwave coming through here as the Murmillo trying to get as much damage as they possibly can get done in this position here. But medium Ulfsark come through. Rapple at this point, he's still pumping his Ulfsark out. He might be considering getting out some throw an axe now as a third longhouse is coming down. Rapple with plenty of wood in the bank here to start producing those throwing axemen here. Tunison, on the other hand here, is on the middle hunt over here as well. He's just about finished on the berries. He's eating up his goat in the main base here. He's now taken that second villager on wood off of wood, but he really, like I said, I just don't think he needs any wood here at this point. Just pure brawn on the food would be enough, but Tunison is going very, very hyper aggressive here in this game in terms of army production. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make anything happen here, or if Rapple's distraction tactics are going to be too good. Meanwhile, I mean, these Murmillo, they do move fast. The Ulfsark obviously moving at 5.28 speed, so they do catch up eventually. But Tunison is not making anything happen with these units as the army pushes through onto the front there for Tunison. He's looking to try and put pressure onto this hunt here, and he does have a decent amount of units here. In fact, I think he might be able to win this fight if he so chooses. So we do see the attempt here to engage, but medium Ulfsark, they are scary there. Very, very scary as the villagers getting pulled back over here. Tunison not able to get any nice engagement over there. In fact, Rapple plays that beautifully there. He pulls the Walrus far away from that army in order to continue hunting on that location there. As the Murmillo coming up onto this position here, we do have a villager queued, but it's at 99%. As the Ulfsark get pushed back over here as well, the polar bear going to get sniped down in frustration here as Tunison is still just waiting it out. There is this world where, because Tunison hasn't built any villages here in this game, he's built one. Did he get a second one coming out? He's getting a second one coming out. There is this world where at full population, Tunison's army is going to be able to completely murder Rappel's army at full population, because there's just more military units for Tunison than there is for Rappel. But is that actually the case? Not 100% sure. He's got... I can't do that math fast enough. That's too hard. I give up on that math. Probably about 35 villages, I guess. Maybe a little bit less than 35 villages, whereas Tunison, on the other hand, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's probably got about 30 population in villages as well here after all is said and done. They're still very, very close. We'll see if Tunison can win these fights here. Now, the most important thing for Tunison here is to snipe those thrown axemen. There's only 4 thrown axemen here. Tunison, on the other hand, has got himself 6 Terma, 7 Terma. Oh, beautiful raid there by Rappel. He takes 1 citizen down, and he's hitting the manor as well. Now, Tunison, he has to just ignore this. He has to say, there's so many units over here. I've got to put pressure on. I've got to take all the villages out of Rappel. He has to fight this one here at this point. Rappel here is going to attempt to retreat away. He needs to go after those villages. The village is retreating away here as the citizen makes a break for it. 6 HP remaining. Rappel only needs to hit that with 1 Valkyrie attack here, and he does manage to snipe that one down, as now the units pushing through for Tunison. He will be able to win this fight very, very hard here. Rappel is not pulled back yet here fast enough, as all of his population is in and on this position here. Rappel retreating away. Tunison here trying to find some sort of an advantage as the Oxguard does fall. The units of Rappel pull up to this top location and attempt to retreat all the way back home, as the Olsark are pulling up to the away on this position to try and distract yet again. Tunison has got everything he needs to, at this point, to win the game, but Rappel has managed to find his way to the heroic age, which effectively means this army, which Tunison has constructed, is going to get frosted, and it's going to get absolutely massacred here in this game. Tunison waited too long to start putting the pressure on, as now we see the army pushing into this location. The Olsark coming in, the throwing axemen coming in as well. The army of Tunison attempting to retreat away for the time being, not ready to put any pressure onto this. Rappel is just about to hit that next age, and he does do that. Clicks the frost, and he's about to start taking this army of Tunison out here as he completely surrounds it. Rappel's got the resources to throw down some sort of ghost buildings around here as well. He doesn't need to finish this off. Walls coming down on this position as well to completely block the Tunison army in. Another wall will get thrown up on this position as well here for Rappel to completely block this army in. But meanwhile, we do see a handful of Murmillo coming through here to push the dwarves off of that gold there. Frost Giant can come over here and help as well, as the walls will get finished up over here. Rappel still got 18 seconds left of frost, as the units here for Rappel trying to finish off the walls, trying to keep Tunison out of this position as the Murmillo get pushed back by some throwing axemen. The walls here seemingly will get finished off. The longhouses also finished up on this position, and Tunison is completely stuck in here. He's not only stuck in here, but there's also the longhouses that can reproduce for Rappel here. Look at that shockwave there as all the units go flying, but Tunison is not able to really start utilizing any of that idle time there from those Olsark, as the Murmillo can't attack flying units. It's just how it works, as the throwing axemen taking down all of the rest of these units. Heavy infantry comes through. The Murmillos are taking down a handful of dwarves over on that position, but doesn't matter, as Hyperion does hit here for Tunison, as he's still putting pressure on. Rappel's at 100 population. Tunison's at 60 population here, ladies and gentlemen, as the Tunison army, he's got nothing left. He's got 5 citizen. He's got 6 citizens currently gathering resources, 3 citizen idle here that need to move on to a second gold mine, and Tunison does not have the time here to rebuild an army. Rappel going to be pushing out. He's going to be looking to attack that gold mine over here, attack this gold mine at the top as well. As Tunison retreats back, we will be seeing a safety hill fort coming up here, as Rappel, he should be... Wait, does he pick off another citizen? He does pick off another citizen with that Frost Giant there, as the units here are actually in position to start putting pressure onto those citizens over there, as well as the Olsark searching around for gold villages, as that hill fort getting up is going to be absolutely huge here for Rapple to defend that gold mine. Tunison on the other hand here, he is on this top gold mine over here as Rapple, he's got this Frost Giant. He could send that up to the top location. He does see the mana over there. Obviously, that mana was there from quite some time ago. The Polar Bear getting involved in this fight here, getting a little bit of damage done onto the Satyr as well for whatever reason. But the Frost Giant going to come over here, could be able to use Chaos on this position here, but will we see the Citizen getting taken out? Yes, we will. Most likely here, especially with the Frost there being utilized, as the other Tunison Citizen will be retreating back home as Chaos gets dropped down there, hits the Valkyrie on this position. The hill fort is up. The Huskarl are coming through. The market is through for Rapple as well. He's got plenty of favor in the bank to make himself Frost Giants here if he so chooses. The Satyr hitting on this position as well, doing a lot of damage. There are a handful of Ursa here that can deal with those Prometheans that have popped out as Rapple needs to pull back his Frost Giant to help defend with this position. But, I mean, Rapple's got so many military buildings, but he's not producing anything at this point here. As he is dropping down, he's trying to get to the Mythic Age here as fast as he possibly can to utilize that really, really strong Balder Ragnarok here. But in that moment, Tunison cannot push past the hill fort, cannot push past the damage he has sustained in this game from Rapple, and cannot find a win here as Rapple plays it too solidly and Tunison can't get the dub here. You got to think, when you're cutting Citizen as the Uranos, taking less than ideal fights, you just have to do it because you need to force the fighting. You need to make sure, the whole point of the cutting of Citizen is to get more military out so you can compete with your opponent. And what the biggest thing you need to do to prevent your opponent from getting to the Heroic Age and getting this broken frost out is making sure you take trades. Because if you don't take any trades here, if you take a look at the military graph of this game, you can see the units here just keep going up. They just keep going up. There's no dips at all here in this position. If that happens, then your opponent can utilize the gold mine in its entirety to go into the Heroic Age, as opposed to having to spend more units on military units or more gold on military units to grab this second gold mine. And then you're going to start being able to continue to fight in that classical age. But Tunison, he kind of wasted a little bit too much time. Rapple able to find the dub here with some distraction tactics, get some nice villager kills here as well, which really should not be happening in this matchup. But nice play here from Rapple. If you guys enjoyed this game, enjoying the tournament, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.